Hey, it's 8 o'clock on a Friday. That means it is time for our scheduled interview with Anthony DeCero. He's here from, man, there's so many acronyms, so many different things that we could call this. Is it Force Center? Is it Force IMI? Are we talking about Fire Expo? I don't even know. We're going to talk about all of them, I think. And TJ's here with us as well. TJ's going to be providing general color commentary and basically just keeping me in line. So TJ, feel free to speak up at any time you like. And while we're waiting for people to join on the live side, Anthony, I don't want you to really introduce yourself yet. We want to give a little chance for people to get here. So while we're waiting for that, I'm going to tell you what I know about this is that SHOT Show was canceled. And shortly after SHOT Show was canceled, as we're sitting around going, okay, what are we doing? Are we just going to go to Vegas and drink this year? Are we going to go somewhere else? We're starting to make plans on how we're going to get contact with brands to learn about new products and new services so that we can share that with the folks here at Gear Report, with our audience. And then I saw... I don't even know where I saw it. I think it was somewhere in a Facebook group, probably. I saw about Fire Expo and reached out, and that's how we got the initial contact. And I got introduced to Anthony. And it sounds to me, we were talking right before the show, it sounds to me like things were really early back then, and it hadn't really been fleshed out. So I think we give it enough time for people to start to get here a little bit. So Anthony, why don't you go ahead and give us a personal introduction and a little bit of introduction to the property, the company, the event, all of that stuff.
Great. Well, thanks for having me on, Jeff, and thanks for that early, contact that we had to get this whole conversation started. I'm here in Southwest Florida, Naples, Florida. I'm a retired law enforcement officer with 22 years of service here in one of the larger departments, agencies in the state, Collier County, and after retiring from a very nice and fruitful career, I ended up as a co-owner of Tradecraft Range, which resides inside of the property known as Force Center. And Force Center is a 1,200-acre facility that was once a maximum security prison. It was built in the late 70s. Way down in the Everglades, so it must have been just a Shangri-La back then. Went out of business basically right when a lot of states were going into privatization of corrections, and so that one was closed down around 2010 or so. And it is still all the structures are still there. Everything is still in good working order. There are various gun ranges that have been built in and around the properties. From 25-yard pistol bays all the way out to our precision rifle range, which is over a mile. We have helipads that are in various areas of the property. We have a landing strip. It is a premium and prime training location for law enforcement, military, and civilians. So Tradecraft Range is a members-only gun range that resides inside of Force Center. Force Center is the 1,200-acre entire property, which is available. Portions of it are available for rent for training purposes to military and law enforcement and civilians. We also do special events there, like we've had an exotic car rally on the property, and we've had some firearm time with those folks. We've had a number of airsoft groups come through. And we're also an affiliate for the tactical games. So we host one-day tactical games skirmish events, which is a combination of functional fitness and a two-gun competition, kind of all wrapped into one sport. Force IMI, which is the third entity that we're talking about, right, is the training arm of the facility. So Force IMI has all the courses that you would imagine from any other training organization, from CCW and basic pistol craft courses up through more advanced carbine courses and response to active shooter. Those courses are available, of course, to civilians and also to law enforcement groups as well. So those three companies make up what we're talking about, and with the property being so big and having so much to offer in terms of the different structures and the different and unique looks of the place. When we got that message early on there that the SHOT Show was going to be canceled, we said, "Oh, geez, this is a good opportunity, I think, here to use the property, use the infrastructure, and use the creativity of the people that work there to hopefully stand something up that might just fill some of the vacuum that was created by it." We know we're not going to replace SHOT Show, but we think we have a good opportunity to be something in the southeast part of the United States that people can look forward to every year. So that's kind of where the impetus came from, and what drove us to take this on.
Interesting. Yeah, that's pretty ambitious, taking on SHOT Show. So SHOT Show really is an industry-only event,
Correct.
and a lot of business happens, a lot of marketing happens, but the public's not allowed in at all
Yeah.
because they try. Your event's going to be open to the public as well, right?
Yeah, we wanted this to be kind of an all-inclusive thing. Coming from a consumer standpoint, I don't often get the opportunity. Well, prior to being in the industry, I didn't get the opportunity to rub elbows or hobnob or meet any manufacturers or anyone, in that line, whether it be the marketing team from my favorite optic brand or what have you. Those are always memorable times and fun moments, and they can, I think, bring consumers closer to a brand that they like, and maybe solidify that relationship. So that was a first thing that really came to our minds when we wanted to host this. I said, this has to be open to consumers. They get shut out of enough stuff. So my vision, or our vision, when we sat down to sort of think of this thing, is we wanted something that would be have more access for consumers than SHOT Show will allow, but has a much cooler experience than a weekend gun show can offer. So we will have live fire demonstrations being able to happen all throughout the entire weekend. The firearms manufacturers that are bringing firearms, they're going to be positioned right on our on our pistol and rifle bays. So you could literally walk up to the Staccato 2011 booth, meet Heather, and walk out with Heather onto a bay and try out a new Staccato for yourself. Rather than just hold it and work the action and feel the trigger, you can go shoot the thing. Same with all the other manufacturers that are going to be there. And I think that's going to help differentiate us from gun shows that go on with some regularity, and SHOT Show, which frankly most people can't get into.
Right. Yeah, that sounds like a something that has been missing, especially when you wrap that live fire aspect in, because what you're describing for the display area is kind of like the NRA show, where all the brands go set up just like their booths at SHOT Show, but then consumers can come in and they can actually sell some stuff too. So it's a little different dynamic, but it's just look and touch. There's no actually feel, and get it, in a real live use situation. So
Exactly.
yeah, that's interesting.
This has gone, we've had a bunch of kind of sit down powwow brainstorming sessions, and it's we've added some things as we've gone. We kind of wanted it to have a street fair kind of feel to it. So in one of the vendor areas we're going to set up, it's going to feel that way. We want it to also be, I want it to have a high spousal acceptance factor, is a good way to put it. So we're going to have, laser tag there for the kids and maybe the big kids. We'll have food trucks there, so people can not have to worry about leaving and coming back. We want it to be a fun, fully immersive day that people can come really be part of it. There'd be some great prizes. And one of the things I'm really, really excited about is we have Paul Barth from Airborne Tactical Training Solutions coming in with one of his helicopters. He's going to have his crew, his air crew, with him, and we're partnering him up with a K9 demo crew. So we're going to have some live helicopter airborne tactical demos happening too. So there'll be some fast roping, there'll be some K9s darting around in and out of helicopters, and it's just going to be a really dynamic, incredible time for everybody.
Yeah, it sounds like it. Critical question has come in already from Boba's brother, Honcho Fett.
Great name.
Swag. Will there be?
Will there be swag? Yeah, there's going to be some swag. We're in contact with close contact with all of the vendors that are on board with us, and we've encouraged them: bring patches, bring stickers, bring T-shirts, bring stuff to give away. We want it to be a friendly place that people leave with some swag bags. So we know for sure that we're going to see plenty of that stuff. And there's some killer giveaways. We got a 2-gun match that's going to be going on over the weekend with some big time prizes. So there will be some swag on Show Fed.
Nice. So I think that based on that, Ghost has said he can make it.
All right.
And so we've talked to him a few times about it, and he wasn't sure. But as soon as you said yes, there will be swag, it's like, oh, okay, I can make it now.
Yeah. We would love to have Ghost Tactical. They were actually part of a conversation that I had with some guys, and so we're really happy to have Ghost come down.
Yeah, I think he's hooked up with Shane and Ron and all of them guys.
Yep, exactly.
So yep. Let's see here. I think we got a little bit of this, but so you have the facility in Florida. It sounds to me like your idea is purely to utilize your facility, not looking to start up a traveling event, right?
No, I don't think we want to take anything like this on the road. We'd like this one to be a success and give us some clues on how we can do it better next year. And then, potentially we can build out some semi-permanent structures that start to house this kind of operation for us year after year. So right now the plan is to really rock this, to treat our vendors and sponsors and all of our general admission people with open arms, and hopefully bring them all back year after year, and we can make this something that we can all look forward to.
Yeah. Plus the weather's really good down here.
Oh, in January? Yeah, it's great.
It's Rub beautiful. It in. Come on. All right. Okay. Oh, I clicked the wrong thing. I wanted to bring the website up. We've talked about it a bit. I want to dive in and actually pull the site
up. I love
up.
the logo.
Oh, yeah.
I love that.
Yeah, it looks good. We're really happy with that, the way it came out.
Yep.
All right, first question. This is something we debated on Wednesday. We have a show every Wednesday night to talk about. Gear Report's a review site, so we talk about everything that's been reviewed since the prior show, and then what's coming up for the next week. And we talked about the event. We had some debate on the proper pronunciation of the town.
Oh, Immokalee. Yeah, it's Immokalee, right. Florida. Old Indian town.
Nice. All right, so what we have here, we've got January 22nd to 24th. So that's going to be kicking off at noon on a Friday and going through Saturday and Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
That looks pretty good. General admission ticket is good for all 3 days. So one ticket gets you in for the whole event.
Correct. Yeah, we want people to come back and go home, come back the next day, meet with somebody they didn't meet with. Yeah, so the whole weekend, come on back.
Excellent. And then I know when we very first talked, I think there were 3 or 4 brands that had signed up, and now I'm scrolling through here, and I'm like, wait a second, you got a lot of folks coming now. So
we've been very busy. Yeah, we've been busy. Some of it has been, they need a place to get to because SHOT Show wasn't there. Mm-hmm. Some have asked for the vendor list, and they hear so-and-so is coming, like, oh, well, we definitely want to be a part of that. And we've paired up some interesting companies, too, that have asked for a partner. So, for example, AGM Global Vision, a night vision company, and LMT are pairing up to sponsor a night shoot. So any of our general admission people that want to come back on Saturday can be treated to some night vision shooting. They can try on some nods. They can work with some IR lasers, and they can do things that they haven't been able to do before. So that's a nice little pairing there.
Yeah, we had AGM Global on a week and a half ago for a show like this, one of the live stream interviews, and they mentioned that was going to happen. So
yeah, Trent, we've been working with Trent. He's been just awesome. His team,
yeah.
So we're very excited.
Yeah, so something that occurs to me that I'll offer you, if there are any brands that you're working with that you think to help promote the event and promote their brand, they'd like to come on and do a show like this, please introduce them to me.
Oh, absolutely.
And,
Yeah, definitely will.
We'd be happy to talk to as many of them ahead of time as possible. I expect that TJ and I are going to be kind of busy at the event, may not actually get to make the rounds and talk to everyone like we normally would.
Yeah.
But
Will be fun.
yeah, it'd be awesome if we
All
could.
kinds of time, Jeff.
One thing I think that we offered to the vendors early was the opportunity to work with our in-house media team, and we work with a great team here from Evoke Studio, and they do some amazing work. They're both shooters. They have a great YouTube page, and they understand the firearms industry. So a lot of our vendors will be they have time squared away, scheduled to do some content creation with Evoke, and they're going to be able to access parts of the property that are normally off limits to just regular folks. So they're going to be inside the prison. They're going to be inside what used to be holding cells and inside areas that are very unique, and it's going to create some amazing content for these companies for 2021. So that was a very attractive feature.
Yeah. And I'm still working on getting a Humvee for us to bring to the event.
That'd be great.
I don't want to drive mine all the way from North Carolina. That would be miserable. But,
yeah.
My buddy's 25, 30 minutes away. I think we can get one of his probably. And maybe wrap that in with what some brands are doing as well. We'll have to see.
Yeah, I think a perfect tie-in for the Humvee would be to queue up with Kelsey from Grayman Tactical. They make those amazing Molly panels for the backs of seats. Incredible.
Yeah. We actually met them at SHOT Show a couple years ago and started to work on a project. And then I got an offer on that Humvee and sold it. And then that project kind of fell apart. And when I got the next Humvee, we never reconnected. So that'll be really good to pick that up again.
Great.
So, so we dove into the event and the types of things that are going to be happening. Why don't we kind of take a tour of the facility here?
Sure.
So I will, and I think, let me see, how big is that on the screen? I don't know that it's going to make much of a difference because a lot of people are probably watching this on mobile devices where making that slightly bigger isn't really going to help. I just took us off screen so that we have the web page here.
Yeah.
And you tell me what area you want me to click on.
Well, let's start at the prison since that's usually the thing that raises the most eyebrows.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's a look down inside the area that we call the city. And that building there in the center of the photo is D block, and that was a housing block. There are 3 housing units in there. That place used to house about 1,000 inmates or so. But D block is 3 identical wings with a hub in the middle, which was once manned by correctional officers. All the cells on both floors are still intact. We have full power in there, so we can turn on lights, and makes for a great training environment, of course, for law enforcement and corrections. But anybody that may have to respond to that type of facility, I've got an inkling for next Halloween to turn that into a haunted prison walk. So we'll see if we can pull that off.
Yeah.
I'm in. Sign me up.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Also out inside the city, it was the law library, and then at some point it was converted to more like a schoolhouse. It's a 20,000 square foot school with hallways and connecting rooms, classrooms that all have tables and chairs and desks, and there is a library, and it basically is exactly how it was set up when it was operational prison. So for school resource officers, agencies that have schools that they respond to, response to active shooter training there is a great concept. CQB also, we've got some courses coming up in 2021 that'll be CQB that are going to use those hallways. We have smoke machines and some strobes for that building, so we can create a little chaos inside that environment that really bring the realism up quite a bit.
See, I thought you were going to say you have a rave scheduled for Friday night.
We could do that. We could
Yeah.
make that happen. On the other side of the compound, across the grass, kind of where your mouse was, is what was the place of worship or the chapel for the prison, and it is exactly how it was left.
Huh.
So when talking about response to active shooter training, having a church, not a building mocked up to look like a church, but an actual church is incredibly valuable. And then directly next to it was a multi-purpose center. We call it the theater. And every time I take someone on a tour there, a law enforcement agency, they walk in and they say, this could be any nightclub in our town. And that's the kind of idea that we're looking for. We want them to understand and see right away that this is a very valuable training environment that they can utilize.
So for the event, what do you have scheduled for the city?
So the city is really going to be set aside for vendors and sponsors and the media teams to get in there and do content creation, because there will be potentially be some flashbangs going off in there, and there's going to be some model actors kind of maybe running around with safe weapons. It's going to be off limits to general admission. For the most part, it'll just be for vendors and media.
Got it. So if we don't have a place to stay, do we book cells through you or someone else?
We're giving them away cheap.
Yeah. You laugh, but TJ will tell you that when we travel, I don't really spring for hotels that much. So
I was waiting for you to ask if there's a campsite on ground, Jeff.
We got plenty of room, so yeah, you can camp. That won't be a problem.
Oh, that's it. He's in. Bring one of those big tents you got, Jeff. You're good to go.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So that's the city, right? And then down the road, just half a mile or so, is another area we call the Village, a smaller piece of property. The Village was a minimum security part of the prison or work camp, and we have barracks in there, so military-style barracks inside the Village. It's right there in the bottom left.
It's where the people are.
It's where all the people are in the Village. That's kind of a top-down view. So all those buildings, there's a dining facility there, multiple barracks. There's a gym in there. And then out back behind the Village, we have gun ranges. Nice. And so we have a 300-yard range back there, and then a couple, 3 pistol bays. And so when we have visiting military or law enforcement groups that are there to train, they can go inside the Village, pull the gate closed behind them, and they are fully encapsulated. They can train there. They don't have to worry about wandering members or even maybe wandering media, like local media coming to see who's around.
Sure.
They can go in there and be secluded and do their thing. And it's a great environment for that.
Nice. Okay. And
let's see here. Accommodations. We're unique in that prison, when it was originally built, is very far out, and they needed to have accommodations for the corrections officers. So we have 6 3-bedroom, 2-bath condos, or we call them condos or duplexes, right on site. Those were housing quarters for brass, basically, and so they would live right on site. So they've been converted, and they look exactly like the photos. They're quite spacious, granite countertops and nice stainless appliances, better than my first apartment by far. And they are for rent. So when we have people coming for a 2-day class and they want to stay on site and not drive, they can rent them. If we've got law enforcement agencies that are there for a week-long training, they can rent them for their officers. Or people who just want to kind of get out of town for a weekend and be out in the quiet, which is what my family and I did last night. Actually, we stayed out there, and it was quite nice. So we do have accommodations on site, and very comfortable.
And in all seriousness, this time, are those available if anyone wants to book them for the event?
They were actually part of the tiered tiered sponsor packages. So we offered on-site lodging for those vendors, and they took them and they love them. So unfortunately for fire general admission, we won't have any of those available. They're going to be pretty deep in there with sponsors and vendors.
Gotcha. Okay.
Where are we at as far as like what's close if we wanted to stay?
Yeah, the closest lodging would be the Seminole Indian Casino, which is about 18 minutes away or so.
After I'll be deaf.
Yeah, and then
Yeah, no
and
doubt.
then after that, you got about a 25-minute drive to I think a Marriott property, Spring Hill Suites. Not a bad drive, pretty easy.
Okay.
And TJ asked that knowing that he said it earlier, and you probably thought it was a joke about, is there some place to camp? But yeah.
Jeff said really, like, where are we camping at?
Yeah, there's plenty of places out there, that's for sure.
Jeff's village.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the interesting thing is that I just bought 26 the big Base X military tents. So I could set up my own hobo village there on your property.
Absolutely.
If you need any, let me know, because I need to get rid of some of these.
We may need to talk about that. That's a good idea.
Yeah, excellent. Great way to repurpose government surplus. Yeah, big fan of this kind of project. And G-Web's gun websites, he's been around for a while. So it's good to get on his radar because he talks to everyone.
Absolutely. And thank you for the comments. That's great.
Yeah. All right. I'm looking I'm looking through some of the comments here. I'm like, people, come on. But this is how it goes. We have fun. We got a lot of regulars here. And I hadn't gone through and really acknowledged who's here. We talked about Honcho Fett, Ghost, G23. We saw one of his comments earlier. Budget Guns and Gear Reviews. Unfortunately, Mike said that on this kind of notice, he is I think he was having flashbacks when we went through the prison part, because that's his office, is some sort of correctional facility.
Gotcha.
And so,
Hopefully next year.
Yeah. Andrew Faulkner is here. Let's see. Buck, the gun loving grandpa, is here. Let's see.
I'm going to fly in my helicopter, Jeff, so it's fine.
Yeah, well, that was my comment early, was that they talked about helipads and an airfield that you would want to fly in your helicopter.
Yeah,
and of course, that raised the obvious question of, did you get rid of the G5?
I did.
Yeah.
Environmentalist. I downgraded a little bit.
Yeah, I hear you. All right. So I think now's a good time, since we've already had a little bit of a segue. Any questions from the audience on the event itself or the property? Now would be a good time to ask those. So as media that are looking to attend and cover this event, what should we expect as far as, I guess we can take this two different directions, what are you looking for from us, and what's going to be available for us as far as, access to vendors and whatever.
Yeah. That was also another early consideration of ours. We knew we wanted this to be a media-rich opportunity. There are the places on the property where media will be able to go with these vendors and do photo shoots and video shoots are going to be amazing. They're going to look great. But we wanted, media outlets like Gear-Report to be able to stroll freely throughout any of the areas, capture audio, capture video, capture photos. So as far as expectations, we just want you out there meeting and greeting and seeing all the new gadgets that all of the vendors are bringing. And by doing that, obviously, there's value added for them. You're just building the value in because they know they need to get gear into your hands to get those favorable reviews. And access for media, it's really going to be pretty wide open. We are going to create something of a media row to the best of our ability, given this is our freshman venture into this. So we are going to try to have a media row set up We have Wi-Fi that's already been established in the outdoor areas, so it'll blanket the area with Wi-Fi. That won't be a problem. So we want a kind of an all-access feel for media to stroll and be part of the event. We don't want you guys to feel like you're part of the general admission or anything other than you're part of the show, because that's how it should feel.
Right. So what we typically do at that time of year, I mean, that's the week we would be at SHOT Show making plans to get, what products we want to review, what new stuff is out.
Right.
We are asking our audience before we go, here's all the people that we expect to be there, which should be easier than SHOT Show with thousands of brands. The
Yeah.
list is going to be a little bit more compact. We should be able to get some more targeted questions and feedback. And hey, go check out, see what Michael's doing at Maxim. What do they have new this year?
Right.
Is Tonto going to be there? Which I don't know. I like seeing him. He's a cool guy, but then he usually travels with the Maxim posse. But that type of thing that we get requests, interview Tonto or find out what's coming out from Shaw Barrels or
Yep.
whoever. I want to get together with Medieval because they have got some of the coolest,
Yeah.
we don't even know what to call them. It's not really a tripod. It's not a
Not a
monopod.
bipod. It's
right?
it's their own thing. Yeah, Medieval will be there. We're excited to have them. We've got a great list. I'm very pleased and I don't want to say surprised because I think it's going to be a great event. But I'm very pleased with the names and the numbers that are coming in. Like, Shaw Barrels. If you don't already know Shaw Barrels, they're our title sponsor, and you probably have a Shaw barrel. If you're listening to this, you probably have a Shaw barrel on a weapon. You just don't know it. So they are going to be there. They're going to bring some great stuff. They actually have an amazing prize that they're ponying up for the 2-gun match. Maxim Defense is also putting up a PDX, I believe, in 300 as a prize. Ballistic Advantage, AGM Global, Staccato, Knights Armament. That's a great company to have there. LMT on the rifle side of things. G Code, Gray Man Tactical. I mean, there's just a really nice list of high-end manufacturers, but also stuff that falls into kind of everyday use kind of categories as far as I'm concerned. So it's going to be excellent. One thing I think I'm most proud of is that we picked a charity partner, and it's on the screen right now, Destiny Rescue. And I first met the folks from Destiny Rescue a little over a year ago. I was competing at the Tactical Games, and we met Tom. And so Destiny Rescue is their mission is rescuing children from sex trafficking operations around the world, and they've rescued over 5,000 children. So it's an important organization that does important work, and they literally send rescue agents into towns and cities all over the world to, at times, physically rescue these children. And then beyond that, they provide them with a lot of aftercare, and that includes education and giving them some skills. Of course, there's always a lot of therapy, I'm sure, that happens after a rescue like that. So they don't just rescue them and plop them back into the environment that created the problem. They give them a skill set and get them out into the world the best that they can. So we're really happy to be involved with Destiny Rescue on this one.
Yeah, that's good. And I like that you actually sought out on your very first attempt to put this event together. You might be forgiven if you said, we don't want the additional complexity of also naming a charity partner and having to figure out how to run this event and do right by a charity partner. It says something that you're willing to step up and take on that additional when you got to be overwhelmed trying to pull this together to begin with.
It's had its moments. I don't come from an event planning background in any way, but we kind of learn as we're going, and I think we got a good thing, and I'm excited. I'm ready for January 22 to get here.
Yeah. And it looks like you have some actual instructional classes happening during the event.
Yeah, absolutely. We have a CCW course that's going on Saturday and Sunday. Um, we discounted it. We want people to take advantage of that, so they could actually sign up and register for the CCW course. Their entrance to fire is absolutely free at that point. So good value add there. So yeah, we do want people to know that we do have an instructional arm. We have all kinds of courses throughout the calendar year, from the most basic up to things that are fairly advanced. So yeah, we have courses for that weekend. It's great.
Yeah. And so if someone wants to come to the event and they're not part of the vendor media staff, anything, but someone from the public wants to come to the event, are you asking them to lock the guns up in the car or leave them at home? Or what are the rules for personal possession of firearms at the facility?
Great question. Yeah, we understand people that are coming to this. They are our Second Amendment loving, gun carrying folks, and we want that. We want that type. But we do want you to leave it in the car when you arrive. We don't want you to bring it out on the active ranges. There's going to be other live fire going on. We want to know where that live fire is coming from. So we do want to make sure that the general attendance folks do leave their firearms in their cars, lock them up securely. We have a parking service that's going to be there helping park cars and make sure that we don't have any fender benders. So there'll be people out and about in the parking areas. So we also want them to feel safe locking those firearms up in their cars.
Yeah, understood. Okay, let's dive into some questions here real quick. G-Webs asked, when was the facility originally built?
Around 1977 or so is when it was formerly called the Hendry Correctional Institution. And so it resides in Hendry County. And so right around 1977.
Oh, clicked the wrong one there. I was trying to get G-Web's logo off of your face, Anthony. But I think every time I bring someone up here, you're getting covered. So I apologize for that.
It's fine. Trust me.
What qualifications do you want for media passes? And I can tell you where this is coming from is G23 hasn't been doing this as long as some people. And I'm sure that he's wondering, well, you know what? Do I make this one of my first big industry events that I go to, or how are you going to screen for that?
We're going to keep it really simple. If you're putting out some type of media content, whether it be simple as a blog, contact us. Let's chat, and we'll put you on the media list. We want that kind of exposure. And frankly, how do people get experience if there's no chance given? So yeah, if somebody's got a blog or something simple that they operate, it's creating some kind of content, drop us a line. We'll put you on the list and come join us.
Excellent. All right. Another, while we're on G23, he asked, I'm going to pronounce this wrong because I would say Cosent Arms, but I believe they've said that's not it. Is it Cosent? Is that how they say it?
No, we have not reached out to them, but I'm going to make a note right now to do that. And we'll get in touch with somebody over there.
I hear about them often. Like, I haven't met them. I hear that they're in Central North Carolina, a little bit west of me, and that it makes it someone that I should probably talk to, a brand I should know about with some cool stuff. But I haven't made that contact yet either. So maybe both of us need to put them on the list.
I think so. Done.
So you have a concealed carry class. Buck asked about any first aid classes. Are you doing any other kind of?
Yeah, we don't have a Stop the Bleed or first aid class going on, although we do have North American Rescue, who's signed up as a vendor, and they make some really high quality, pre-built out kits. I need to reach out to them and see if they'd be interested in doing like a little breakout or a clinic on maybe just proper, application storage and application of a TQ, or maybe how to use a pressure dressing of some sort. So there's a possibility of that.
Got it. All right. Thank you to G-Webs, who doesn't actually use StreamYard, but had the idea of dragging things around. So here's what I'm going to do.
He's good.
I'm going to put me down at the bottom so I get covered up.
Whoa.
Anthony stays visible.
Oh, boy.
TJ is now top of the food chain. So
That's right.
get mouthy, I'm moving you.
Yeah, exactly.
All right.
I was surprised not to see any. I figured a lot of the firearms from companies from Florida would be there. I mean, I figured they would just flock to it.
Yeah, well, there's a couple that we contacted that had had already allocated media funds and some marketing
Right.
funds to a few things. So we're going to try and impress them with this and make them say, "Gosh, we should have went to Fire,"
Yeah.
and that's what we'll do.
Yeah. If you
Okay.
haven't reached out to WMD Guns,
Yeah, I had a email chain going with WMD. They are in, and they'll be coming over.
excellent. I
So
was going to say,
we just haven't added them to the list yet.
great
Awesome.
people, Win and Mike and all of them. Great.
Yeah, they
people.
seem like really nice people, and I know some folks over in Stewart where they're located, and they said anytime I want to stop by, then I'm welcome. So I'm going to take them up on that.
Yeah, and we've done that. TJ and I toured their facility. Well, it was midsummer, wasn't it? It was months ago. That was
Months.
last year, TJ. And it was fairly short notice. It was one of those. They've told us for years, if you're ever around, let us know. And I called Win and said, "Hey, man, I'm 40 minutes away. When can we come by?" He
Definitely
said, "Yeah,
stop in.
So, yeah.
That was when the start of the lockdowns back in the day.
Yeah.
So let's dive into this question that G-Web's asked about, and I think this is kind of multi-layered. You know, how difficult or easy to get the event off the ground, and that's where you mentioned not having an event management background, but then we throw in the Rona and all the joyous things that come with that.
Yeah. We set some early expectations as a team that we wanted to see. We needed 30. We thought if we get 30 vendors, we can consider this a success. We got the logo together. We got we had a little naming convention, and then we got this thing put out on our social media pages. And within the first, I want to say 24 hours, we started to see some responses coming in, people wanting more information. And we almost weren't ready to give them more information because we're like, well, let's just test the waters. And next thing you know, we had people contacting us. So it was a little luck, some pent up, frustrations maybe on the part of some of these companies. And we knew that we also had to be kind of first to market. If somebody else would have come up with this concept with the same kind of property offerings, they would have been able to stand it up probably just as well. So I don't want to say it was easy. It's been a lot of work. It's been a lot of contacts. We've had to reach out to as many people as we can. I had a ton of help from Sarah over at the Tactical Games, who has a Rolodex that's a mile long. So she's been very helpful in this. As far as potential travel into the state of Florida, we've got a great governor here who's really kept things moving and kept things open, and so we're not under any kind of restrictions that we should be too concerned about. We've had a few people that have had to cancel or back out because of quarantine issues for them when they return back to their home state, and they just can't afford the time, and we totally understand that. So we knew we needed to be an outdoor venue, and we made sure that is very clear, that this is an outside event, so people can feel safe and free to be part of it. So it hasn't been all that difficult, but I will need more team members if we're going to do this again next year.
Yeah. Oh, I bet.
Yeah.
So are you going to ask people to wear masks while they're there?
We're not going to require masks, and we're not going to even ask them to wear masks. We're going to have multiple hand sanitizing and sort of PPE stations set up. So there'll be ample opportunity to make sure your hands are clean, and in each of those stations, we will have disposable masks. So if you forget one and you want to wear one, no problem. We're going to have them there. If you do a live fire exercise and your mask gets caked with gunpowder or whatever, we're gonna have plenty of masks. They won't look like that mask, but those are the premium masks.
I just wanted you to know I was prepared for whatever. You
Yep.
do what you need
Bring
to.
that one, Jeff. Bring it. I'll wear it.
I should.
Yeah.
I should.
So yeah, we're not going to ask or require anyone to wear a mask if they don't want to, but we'll have them there if somebody wants to grab one.
Yeah, gotcha. Okay.
Gotta love Florida.
I love it.
Buck has a Gear Report t-shirt. Does that count for media? I don't know.
Oof.
Buck, if you want to go, just come actually be a part of the team and come with Gear Report. Okay.
There you go.
Buck's a good guy.
That'll
we
work.
can work something out. Let's see. I'm scrolling through questions to make sure I didn't miss anything here. Yeah, G-Web's throwing some props your direction for stepping up and making this happen. So
Thank you so much.
appreciate that as well.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, time check here. We're about 45 minutes into this. We intentionally make this kind of free form. So, we're not committed to go a full hour. We don't have to stop at an hour. Let's see how the questions are going and how everyone here is feeling. So, as far as things that you wanted to cover, things that you wanted to talk about here, what's left that we didn't talk about that you'd like to?
Oh, let's see here. Man, we covered a lot of ground, from the history of the property to to the companies that are coming. I think we've done pretty darn good.
Yeah.
Admissions, maybe how much it costs for the
Yeah.
public?
So we through the link there that says Fire 2021, there will be an Eventbrite page link where you can buy general admission tickets. General admission tickets are $20. Currently, they probably are going to take a little bump up to $30 the day of. So we do want people to get in there and get those tickets for us. Yep, there's our Eventbrite page. And a portion of all the general admission ticket sales does go to Destiny Rescue, which is our charity partner. So $20 gets you in for the whole weekend, and you can come and go as you please. And we'll be making hopefully a nice fat donation to Destiny Rescue.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard $20 is $20. So,
Yep, that's right.
Yeah. All right. Let's
That's what they say
see.
in the keys, Jeff.
What's that?
That's what they say in the keys.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
Weather in January is it's really mild, but it changes. Like you wouldn't believe. We'll probably see around that weekend. We'll probably see the high 50s, low 60s start in the morning. Warm up to the mid upper 70s. We do get some breezes that come out of the east once the sun gets up. So it should be a nice breezy day. Maybe 7 to 10 mile an hour winds. I sound like a broadcaster, but it's going to be absolutely beautiful day.
The breezes will help with the bugs, so we got to have those. Got to have some wind.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's see. For people who want to attend the event, they get their ticket ahead of time. They show up. You'll have someone to help them park and direct them where they're going.
Mm-hmm.
Should they have anything with them? It sounds like a pretty spread out property. Like if they got little kids, is it going to be on grass? Can they push a stroller? What kind of considerations, things do they need to be thinking about before?
Yeah, some of it is on pavement, so some of it will be on paved roads, and it's quite easy to push a stroller. Most of our sponsor level tiers are going to be right there on that main road, very, very easy to see. Well, they're going to make a little left-hand turn that'll take them down our range road that takes them by the bays. That's some fairly compacted ground and soil and grass there, easy walking. If they were to make the furthest walk from Vendor Village to the furthest bay away, they're looking at maybe 1,000 yards. So it's not crazy. They would walk, significantly further at any theme park, of course.
Sure.
So it'll be pretty easy walking.
Yeah, and you said you have food trucks.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, we got some food trucks, just like kind of general tacos, burgers, sandwiches, things of that nature. And I think we've got a coffee company coming too, which would be great in the morning to get everybody started. Yeah.
Morning. I've been hitting the coffee the whole time we've been talking.
Morning, noon, and night.
All day.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we also we'll have some other swag there from Tradecraft Range if they want to pick up shirts or hats or patches from Tradecraft. Nine Line is coming on as a sponsor, so Matt Lyda and the guys at Nine Line are coming in, so they're going to have some great gear there if you like Nine Line. So yeah, there's going to be just tons of options. It's going to be really great.
That's an interesting question. We keep them.
We got a couple of collection ponds that are right next to our headquarters building, and we've had some slobber knocker alligator battles go on in there throughout the years. So they may see a gator or two on the way into the property, but there won't be any wrestling, I don't think, that weekend.
That would have been a little more excitement than I'd like to see.
Yeah.
Alaskan Ballistics, are you going to make the trip? That's the real question.
We got prizes for you guys if you make that trip.
The weather's way better down here.
Yeah. All right. Let's see. Anything else we want to cover before we wrap this up? I'm going to make a last call for questions from out in YouTube from the community. TJ, I have yapped a lot and not given you much chance to talk. So
I've chimed in when I thought. Trying to keep you under an hour. Jeff likes to ramble. I got to watch out for him. He'll go off on a tangent, and that's it. He's done.
Yeah. That's true. This is, as far as broadcasts go, this has stayed on the rails, surprisingly, a very large portion of the broadcast. That is bizarre for me.
I've come to the conclusion that we'll be putting a tent up on site somewhere, and we'll be hanging out there with ramen and coffee, probably.
Why are you saying it like it's a bad thing?
Yeah. It's not a bad thing, Jeff, but the casino's right down the road. Just throwing it out there. It could be Vegas-like.
That's exactly what I was thinking. It could be
That's what you make of it, yeah.
Yep. All right. What if I get to see? So G-Webs, I think it's in Arizona, maybe. So if you see the.
Yeah, I'm not even kidding. One morning, literally, we went out. I went out the door to my truck, and gators were fighting each other, like going crazy. And then a day or two later, two alligators were dead, belly up, floating. And the big one that must have moved in overnight and established that he was the king was laying there. So it does happen. Yeah, it's wild down there.
They each have their own little pond, and once one gets bigger, that's it.
Yep, it's on.
Move on to the next one.
Wow. So, as far as your facility, something that I missed, and I think I shut the wrong window here, so bear with me. You had some sort of driving facility there.
Yeah, we do have a driving tab. On the property, just due to the way the place was built and the infrastructure, there's about 2 miles worth of paved roads that go all over the place. Most of it is single track, so about 8 feet wide as a vehicle. But it's very, very handy for convoy work, for teams that need to make approaches to buildings, so SWAT teams that need to roll up on a house for a search warrant, that type of thing. You can't really do any high-speed maneuvering on any of these. There's just not the width that is needed. But it's certainly good for convoy work and for teams that may need to work on ambush type deals.
Well, I was hoping you had something if we bring Humvee that we could get off road a little bit.
Oh yeah, we have some places that you can do that too.
It's Florida, Jeff. We can do that anywhere.
Yeah.
Anyway, that looks nice. Let's go that way. Perfect.
Exactly. One thing I did forget to mention, we are still in the hunt, and we're working on a couple sponsors to take the long range sponsor. So we've got a long range precision rifle range out there that goes out to a mile, actually beyond. 4-story Connex tower that is a sniper and rappel tower. So once we secure that, we'll be able to shuttle. We're going to get some shuttles and shuttle general admission folks that want to be involved in the long range side of things. They can go down and see, the newest 6.5s or whatever the long range offerings are, as well as optics down there. So we're working on solidifying that deal.
Right.
Which would be really cool.
You okay, Jeff?
It's the Rona, man. I'm telling you.
I saw you. I was like, is he gonna go? Is he out?
Did you see? I was like reaching for my throat, like I got to stop this cough, and I was trying to figure out where the mute button was. I was flailing all over the keyboard here, like where's the mute button?
Good thing we weren't live.
Yeah, yeah, that's always fortunate. I have low expectations for myself on these broadcasts. That really helps me get by. Let's see. I feel like we should drive a cop car to this event and not the van. Given that their sponsor, yeah, I don't even want to go there. Okay. Yeah, it was going to be funny to me, but inappropriate. And
the vans are everywhere down here, Jeff. They're all over the place.
I'll tell you once we go off the air here. Buck is correct. I think it does sound like it's going to be a great event.
Thank you, Buck.
So I know I'm really looking forward to it. I know something I was going to ask you. Do you have anything set up? You said you're going to have some things with your media folks, something that would really be interesting to me because you have that facility and you've talked about content creation and letting sponsors and whatnot get some access to film some cool stuff. Mm-hmm. I would personally, I was in the Air Force, right? I wasn't an operator. I wasn't an LEO. I have guns. I go to events. I shoot cool stuff. I could really use someone to help me with competence on basic things, like building entry, building clearing, room clearing, that kind of stuff. Are you going to have anything like that set up to give kind of that intro experience to folks who don't really have it?
We that's something we haven't thought about yet, but that could be very easily built into that instructional side of the house that's going to be doing the CCW courses, the IMI guys. Mm-hmm. They have some building entry and room clearing courses. I think like a clinic length bit of that might be exactly what you're looking for. So let me work on that. That's a good idea.
Yeah, that would be awesome because I'll tell you, it's intimidating at times. We go to events and I don't know, TJ's probably not as intimidated as I am at times, but we go to SHOT Show and we're rubbing elbows with, Navy SEALs and all kind of, Delta Force, whatever. And I'm like, I don't even know what you guys are talking about.
Right.
They're talking about procedures and things that they just know like the back of their hand, and I'm completely lacking in competence in that area, and I would love to get some a little intro functional training to help make me better able to have those conversations and report on things, but also just functionally for I got a house, I got guns, I'd like to be a little safer.
I think that'd be a good idea, and we have 2 shoot houses on the property as well, and they're in very close proximity to where everything else is going on, so it'd be simple to tie that in. That'd be really good.
UTV training, there we go.
Yep, absolutely.
Right. Fun stuff. Hopefully some of that'll work out. We're on track, I think, to actually hit right at our 1 hour. So I'm going to, Anthony, I'm going to make you bigger on the screen and let you say anything you would like. This is oftentimes we have people on and they feel a little, I don't want to be like wide open promotional. I'm asking you be promotional at this point. Tell us anything you want about the scope of the business and what.
At this point, I don't have any problem promoting this event whatsoever. This only goes to benefit, everybody from the consumer to the media to the businesses that are there. The more people come to this and events like it and take part, and the better off we're all going to be. So no problem at all with promoting it. And then once you get there, you're going to see this amazing property, and it is really pretty awesome to be there. So it kind of promotes itself. And you'll meet some of the guys that I work with. You'll meet Heim from our instructional arm, IMI, and you'll see exactly how good of an instructor he is. Hopefully you pick up some classes with us while you're there. And if you're in the law enforcement or military sort of sector of things, you'll see the property for what it really is, and it's just a gem of training. So I'll go that far as promotion goes.
Okay, excellent.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for being on. TJ gave you the spotlight there. Man, did it again. What button am I looking for? There we go.
Yeah.
There we go. I'm going to ask a question that TJ has been shy about asking. One of the key features of SHOT Show is the after parties. That's where, all right, and we joked about a rave earlier, right? Smoke machines and lights and strobes and everything. But in all seriousness, to meet our goals, it's often the more private get-togethers when people have a little, when they've had a drink or two and loosened up, and that's when the real deals happen. That's when business really happens. I'm curious. I am a huge proponent of a big separation between booze and guns. So I'm not asking for, is there going to be beer on the range? I'm saying,
good question.
Is there going to be something later?
Nothing on the ranges. We're still working on a couple things that may allow us to have a music kind of component going on site. If that doesn't happen, that's okay. We do have a contact at a pub that's about a 10-minute drive away. We want to do some drink specials and some half-price appetizers. Get as many people as we can to pour in there, and then we can kind of let our hair down, so to speak, and have a drink and enjoy each other's company and just chat. And I think that'll be a ton of fun. And so those are some of the times I remember most about big gatherings like this.
Sure. All right. Well, we've hit our hour. Why don't we go ahead and wrap this up? Just to be sure everyone is 100% clear, I'm going to bring this back up so you can see. Or can you see? Hold on. Let me see if I can scroll up to the top here. It doesn't show the URL, does it? ForceIMI.com is the website. In case it's not displaying on the screen, I apologize for that. ForceIMI.com.
They can also go. They can also go to ForceCenterUSA.com. Either one of those will take care of you.
Okay, good. So go check out that information. Check it out to get all the additional information you need. Anthony, so much. You have burned an hour of your time that you're never going to get back. I apologize for that, but we do appreciate you being here. And
anytime.
Can't wait to get down to Southwest Florida in a couple weeks and see the facility.
Yeah, we're looking forward to it.
Go ahead and I'm going to hit the end broadcast button. If you want to hang out for a few minutes, we'll talk off air.
Great.
And hey, folks, until next time, we'll see you at the range.